So, yeah.
It's good for formative assessment, but summative assessment is difficult.
How is that difficult? What do you see as a challenge?
If you upload the answers, so the students can check the correct answer
Yeah.
and correct their mistakes.
Yes.
But when you give them marks, I think it's difficult to allow students to mark their answers.
Correct. So the summative assessment, you would probably give them a test and grade it yourself. Could you have the, let's say, the multiple choice part online through a tool that could grade them electronically? And then you would just grade the essay part, for example? It's possible. You guys use Blackboard? And inside Blackboard you have tools, no? You can create quizzes, yes? And so if you do the multiple choice options graded, and then you just do the essays, for those of you who have writing included. My PhD is in applied linguistics and technology. So I use technology in every way to make things more exciting and more motivating for students, but also for me, easier for me. So you can do quizzes electronically and the grading goes straight into the Blackboard system, right? So you could think about that.
What about the other questions? The other type of questions?
Then you would have to grade them. Now you want everything to be done for you. We're not there yet. I dream of a day where the machine, you put their essays inside of it and the machine gives the feedback. Yes, your introduction is beautiful, or this is missing. That would be perfect. Maybe someday we'll get there. So I'm talking about the cool stuff, but how about the challenges? Huh? Time consuming. What is the most time consuming part of it, you think? It's time consuming. Can you organize class in a way that you have smaller groups? Teaching well is time consuming. Because the traditional system is easy, no? Because it's easy in the sense, I apologize, easy in the sense that you have the lecture, you do the lecture, and then you're done. But at the same time, you have no idea what's going on with your students. So it is time consuming. That's probably my first one. Let's see. Yes, there you go. That's on top of the list. It is more time consuming. You had a question?
Regarding the challenges, I personally feel like motivation is going to be a greater challenge. I haven't got this experience of teaching a free classroom.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. I mean, based on my experience over here in Saudi, I think motivation is going to be a greater issue in a great classroom because students are not really interested in doing home assignments even if they had to do one semester. So how come they're going to do daily-based activities and so they always come with excuses and it's going to be a mess in the classroom?
Very good question. Motivation is a thing. Now, let me ask you one very important question. Are you allowed to manipulate grades? Are you allowed to say, okay, tomorrow we're going to have a graded quiz? No? You teachers cannot do that? You can do that. Grades are the best way to motivate students. But here's the thing, you don't want to make them hate you, right? But you could have quizzes. Quizzes that are a little more exciting that will make them be prepared. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. There's one of the questions there. Also, the materials you choose. Would you prefer to read a 70-page chapter or watch a video? You, yourself, would you prefer reading? Of course. So, does anybody here prefer reading over watching a video? Nobody. So you know what the students are, of course, right? And there are some courses where students have to read 300 pages a week. Motivation's not that big. But we talk about soon different ways to motivate them to do stuff. But keep grade in mind. That is a good way to do. If you guys are allowed, say for example, in your syllabus when you're preparing it, are you allowed to say 10% of the grade is going to be pop quizzes? Can you do that? There you go. Okay, everybody, you prepare outside of class. We're going to have a quizzing class. It's part of the syllabus. If they don't do it, they're not going to do well in terms of grades. But you don't want to make it sound like you're punishing them. I think students get upset because teachers treat them as you punishing them for not doing something. And in the American system, we try to do positive reinforcement. Make it exciting for them. Make it interesting for them. Don't make it sound like you bashing them and bashing them for not doing stuff. And then they become less and less motivated. So I understand you. It's hard to find something that's exciting. But you're going to see later today examples of videos for a lecture that students find super exciting. And then they start doing it and they start becoming fond of it. I know that at the beginning it's a little harder, but then they get used to it. But we'll talk some more. Don't worry about it. We'll have the chance to talk some more. So, different students, Mary is very slow and Edna is very fast. So it might create some more work for you because you're going to have different problems for different students, right? The fast students, you need to have extra stuff. Oh, they're going to solve the mathematical problem or equation in 2 minutes. Don't worry, I have 5 more equations for them. So you have to be prepared. Time consuming, but it's worth it. Selecting and prioritizing goals. How do you do that with the flipped learning system? Now we have higher level, low level, middle level, right? One way that I do it is by doing a needs assessment with my students at the beginning of the semester. So the writing classes, they fill out a questionnaire. Field of study, what project they're working on, what the requirements are, the deadlines, so I know which project each of my students working on. So by knowing that, I'm able to address their needs. And think about it, my engineering class, I have all kinds of engineering there. And they're from different departments. They have different requirements. So I give them a Google questionnaire and at the beginning, so I know exactly what it is that they need. Throughout the semester, I help them out. And I'm talking about classes that are very individualized because you're writing your thesis, nobody can do it for you. It's not the same thing. So are your classes something that everything applies to everybody? Or do you have more individualized things? Same thing. Okay. So it's helpful when you have a class, everybody's learning the same thing. But when you have different students' needs, it's a little more complicated. How about online distractions? Listen, I have a hard time with YouTube because it's like I go there to watch a video. All of a sudden I'm watching another video. And all of a sudden I'm watching trailers for a movie. And I was like, what was I doing here again? So you have to be careful. Blackboard allows you to embed videos. I teach using Blackboard too. So students don't go to YouTube. The video is in Blackboard. So they watch it there. Now if you send them to YouTube, oh, they're not going to study. You know that. They're like, what was I doing here again? So use the system in Blackboard to embed your videos so that the students don't have all of those cool things happening, right? The new movie or whatever coming out.
They will try to open another page.
Another page. Oh, let me check my email. And once again, what was I doing? Yes. So try to use Blackboard. Do you use Blackboard to teach every class? So you have it ready, right? Every course? I'd like for you, everybody, to have one. I have numbers. It's your responsibility if they're going to be lucky or not today. So pass around. Everybody should have one of these. Could you please, ladies, pass this around? Let's see if you're lucky today. All right. So what do I want with this? Somebody mentioned presentations. Presentations over here, yes? One. Mm-hmm. One number for each person. One person, each person, not group. So what do I do with my students? My syllabus indicates that they will have impromptu presentations in class. How? Lottery. So, you know, like you put their names in the hat and you pull it out. Everybody is prepared because they don't know who is going to be called. Now, I gave you numbers. Yes, everybody has one? Everybody has one? Huh? Person. Each person should have one. Not a person, yes. This is an individual thing. They are going to be my students. I'm going to call them. Now listen, I'm not here to grade you, so we're going to do a fun thing with it. But, are you ready? Okay, so let's say I told my students to read something about using intonation to improve your communication with your students. This is for non-native speakers of English. So they watch the video lectures, they do some exercises online, and they come to class tomorrow, and I will pick someone randomly. They have to stand up and teach everybody else. It's part of the class, it's part of the syllabus, they do it. So they come in, and if you're not prepared, it's embarrassing, because you're going to have to say in front of everybody, sorry, Dr. Lim, I didn't read. So they generally come ready. So I gave you numbers because I don't have your names. So if I had your names, I would have your names on there. So let me show you a tool that I use to make it fun. Yes? They love technology. So instead of a hat or a bag, I use this tool right here. Are you familiar with this? Okay, this one is my favorite, but this one you can have only 50 numbers in there, or 50 names. So I'm going to use this one here. See your numbers? So instead of asking you questions, because I'm not here to test you, you get gifts. Okay? So I have chocolates. Whoever goes first gets to pick first. So I have chocolate from the United States. Okay? I have these very beautiful green bags from my program. And it's nice because these bags fold into a little pouch. So like, see, I'm using it to carry my gifts. And then we have pens, also from my program. I'll call your name, you can come here and pick whatever you want. Sounds good? Now, in their case, it's not fun because they have to, and they are graded when they do it. It's part of the grade. Each student does 5% each. So what they do is in my place, they teach the other students about it. And this here, they love this. And I'm talking about graduate students. Because the excitement of whose name is going to come up. So let's see who is lucky today. Good thing you don't have to answer questions. You ready? All right. Who is number 30? Drew, you want to come here or you want me to take it there? Yes, what would you like?
I'll have the chocolate.
Pink or blue?
The blue.
The blue one. So she gets to pick. Now, if she had to do a presentation, she would go first. Not very good. Yes. All right. Next one. I'll do a few now and then at the end of the training some more. So now what happens is you can remove the person, yes? So you click there and the number 30 is gone. And generally I have their names on there. Next. It's so much more fun than the hat. 45. Who has 45? Another lady. You guys are not lucky today. It's not my fault, I promise. What would you like to have? Chocolate. She said chocolate? All right. Huh?
I am not interested. I didn't give my name.
You didn't take a number? Oh, wait, I have a number for you. Ahmed, oh, here. 51. I see. All right. The ladies got the chocolate. Let's see. Another lady or a male this time? Oh, 50. A gentleman? Yay! Good. Now there's no more chocolate. Do you want to come in? Is that you? Would you like a bag or a pen? So, congratulations. One more? Well, we can do two more. So remove, generally I have only 3 students per class presenting. Because you don't want to do the whole class just presentation, right? Number 2. Yay! Now 2 and 2, we are tied. A pen or a bag? A pen. Now, thank you. Last one, is it going to be ladies? Is it going to be the guys? After, oh, have some more. We have a few more things there. And then the last one for today, for now. $46. Woo! Did you hear that? You have someone cheering. You are?
No, I am 46 years old.
Okay. Maybe you should get a pen for that. How many 46-year-olds we have? Do you want a bag or a pen? A pen? Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. You won't. Afwan. And now here's the thing, you guys. It makes it a little more exciting. And they, now one thing that I do with my students to make it a little better is I give gifts, 2 gifts first, and then I do 3 for the presentations. So they enjoy it because they go like, aha, you unlucky today. I got the chocolate, you get to present. So it's all about tiny things to motivate the students. So they don't see this as, oh my God, I have to present or something. So these tools can make it a little more exciting. Did you enjoy that one? You too did, didn't you? Like, my number, my number. Oh, it's not my number. So I just wanted to show you, this will make sure that they're prepared. But you have to have this included in your syllabus. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you the example that I have of the class schedule, how it's structured. At the end, I'm going to do a little bit more, yes? So we have the numbers. You guys are not going to repeat. The ones who had it will not be there again. That's not fair, is it? They don't get to present twice on the same day. Okay, so Dr. Lima, when I'm designing a class, what do I have to consider? Well, obviously, that's the most important question, right? So what do we have to consider? The students will study by themselves. So what kind of materials do I select that will make them go, like, instead of watching YouTube videos, study? So you have to consider that. Now, you know, sometimes what you find exciting is not exciting for them. Like the music I like is the 70s. They don't care for that. So I have to select songs that the students like. Yes?
Sorry.
Yes?
Before you go to design, how we are going to solve the problem of time consumed?
You can have videos instead of recording your own lectures. You can have videos that are already made for you. For feedback, you can record your feedback, or you can put the rubric online, stuff like that. And I'm going to show you some tools that are made for you so that you don't have to create your own things. Now, one way, I generally make my own videos because I have a degree in technology, so you learn how to make videos and all those things. But there are some awesome videos on YouTube Education and the Khan Academy. They have videos on everything. So you guys don't need to record yourselves. And keep this in mind, that the flipped classroom videos are not the traditional, like they're recording me here, right? So there's going to be 3 hours of video. And then you put it online. No, the videos for flipped class have to be very short. And there's an activity with videos actually in the workshop part, so I cannot tell you very much about it, but we're going to talk about it. You guys are going to analyze the video and see what the good things are about it. But using materials that you don't have to create is one of the best ways to save time. And I have websites for you and all those things. Suggestions, yes. Now, when you design in your class, am I going to be able to design a lot of activities for them? Do I want to do this? Because you have to. Remember, in class they will do the practice, so you have to be prepared. Vary your activities. If they come to class every day and they have a quiz, they're going to hate you. So you have to have different things. Group discussion, presentation, lottery bag. They have to solve problems. Competitions. Students love competition. Let's see which group wins. And then have a little chocolate to give them. Right? They like that kind of stuff. Did I see a hand in the air? No. Okay. The activities that you create can be individual, but also groups. Now, you're talking about weak students and strong students, but how about the students who don't want to work with each other? Right? I don't like working with people. You use them against each other. I like your style. So it's like competition. Okay? So that's a good strategy. So this is a little bit more research oriented just to show you that flipped classroom is a real model, and there are researchers who spend their time doing this. This is from that book I told you about. Teacher should be the facilitator. If you have a hard time understanding that you should facilitate and not lecture, maybe the model is not for you. Because you have to think about it this way. I created the course, I put it online, now I need to step aside and let them do their stuff. So if you feel like I have to control them all the time, probably not the best. And I know that some of you have 20 years of teaching experience, 30. It's hard to change things. So you have to be willing to. So it's like, is it a good option? And you don't need to flip the whole class. Do it 1 week yes, 1 week no. Or do the first 5 weeks or the last 5 weeks. You don't have to do everything at once. Slowly you get there. And consider this. I have to consider the students and what they're going to be doing. YouTube video is a good thing. If students like YouTube, I don't know, do they like YouTube here? Students in America can be watching YouTube all day long, like me too. If I start, it's hard to stop. So, when you are able to understand how the activities work together, you are talking about active learning. If you guys had an active learning workshop last year, yes? Did you attend it? Some of you were there? Do you remember it? I remember that someone mentioned there was an active learning workshop. So, the main principle of the flipped classroom is that the activities you create, students should be able to apply what they read. So if your activities don't do that, something is wrong. So let's talk about chemistry and the mixture of components, right? I'm sorry, I'm not a chemist, so I may not say something very accurate. But then when they come to class, you can have them testing different things. What happens when I mix this with that? So you have to be able to apply the exact thing you wanted them to learn. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Why did I read about mixture of components and we're talking about something else in class, right? All of these things together, you, the materials, the environment, the peers, they all have to come together to help students achieve their goals. So you have to consider weak students with strong students. Is this going to help them? You don't think so, right? He thinks so. So it's like, okay, I have to consider these things as well. Learning should be mutually constructed with peers, with you and the students. So remember this, it's not about one person only, it's about the interaction of factors. I love learning through videos. And that was an interesting thing happened 2 years ago. My international teaching assistants, they teach different sciences, and one of the assignments is for them to present a mini lecture in their fields of study. So this one guy from biology, he brought a video, 2 minutes. The video was so good that I got the idea of how DNA is combined. And you could explain that to me in words all day long. So he was like, okay, so today I would like to talk to you about how DNA is combined. Yeah, let's watch this video. And I was like, no way. In 2 minutes, I understood the concept. So visually, for me, it's much easier. You know, some people like reading more, some people like listening. But think about what your students will enjoy. Do I have to wear all of these? So the flipped classroom is essentially constructivist. Construct your learning, right? And this is a table that will help you understand the 6 stages of flipped classroom. Can you see it from there? Probably not. A little bit. You guys are going to get a copy of the slides. So 6 stages. You develop a situation for the students to explain the concept. You decide on the groupings of students. We are talking about weak, strong, talkative group, shy group. You have to figure out how you want to do that. You have to, the bridge between what the students already know and what they need to know. You have to understand that. Do they already understand chemical components? That's important in mixture, isn't it? Understanding the reaction between this chemical component with that. So you need to be able to bridge that. What is it that the students already know and what do they need to know? You have to be ready to anticipate questions. You assign the video. I know they're going to have a question about minutes 1 and 30. So you have to be prepared to answer those questions. Encourage your students to show critical thinking by sharing things, talking to you or talking to each other. These are all steps in the flipped classroom model. And finally, have them do reflections. How do you know if the students learn something if you do not talk to them about it? So for example, today I'm talking to you about a ton of things, right? You're going to go like, whoa, so much information. At the end of the workshop, I could ask you to give me a summary of what you learned from it and what things are you willing to apply to your own teaching. Because if you don't reflect on it, how do I start? What am I going to do with this, right? So make sure your students reflect on the learning. That's a very important step. So again, you're going to have the slides so you can look at these things later by yourselves.